All right, so this week we're going to be talking about prepositional phrases and how prepositional phrases can act as modifiers in a similar fashion to how adverbs act as modifiers. We're going to start off with a quick review of what is an adverb. We can see here from this page that an adverb tells us more about a verb, and adverbs generally tell us more about how something is happening, when something is happening, or where an action is taking place. And oftentimes adverbs ended in ly, which makes them pretty easy to spot. Because we're talking about prepositional phrases acting as adverbs, though, we can't just look for that word that ends in ly because we're going to be talking about a phrase or a group of words that are going to be modifying verbs. They're still going to be telling us about how things are happening, when or where they're happening, but we're talking about a group of words that are fulfilling that function. Now, in addition to adverbs modifying verbs, we also talked about how adverbs can modify adjectives and other adverbs. So it says here that adverbs can describe adjectives as well as verbs. Adverbs can also tell us more about other verbs. We have a couple of examples, and let's just take a look at them and see what we can see. So number one says, I was waiting for an extremely late bus. Now this word extremely is underlined and it ends in ly, so we know that this is in fact our adverb. So what was extremely, right? It wasn't I was, and it wasn't waiting. It was the bus. And we have another word here in front of bus that tells us that this bus is late. So it's not an extreme bus. That might be fun to ride. This is an extremely late bus. So the word late is telling me more about bus. Bus is a noun. So late is an adjective. This adverb extremely is modifying the adjective late. So just keep that in mind as we look at some other ones. Let's try the next one and see if we can figure it out. It says here, time seemed to pass incredibly slowly. So, as I read this sentence, time seemed to pass incredibly slowly. This is the adverb that they want us to figure out, like, what is it modifying? What is it telling me more about? Well, it's telling me a little bit more about how the time is passing, and the time is passing slowly, ending in an ly. So this adverb, incredibly, is modifying this adverb slowly. All right, so now we're going to take those ideas and we are going to apply them to prepositional phrases. So looking at prepositional phrases and how are they modifying verbs, adjectives, or other adverbs. Just as a quick reminder, a prepositional phrase is a group of words that comes after a preposition in a sentence. It starts with a preposition and it ends with a noun, which is also the object of that preposition. Prepositional phrases can be used as adjectives or adverbs. So last week we talked about how they can be used as adjectives. This week we're going to be focusing on how they can be used as adverbs. So if we look at our example sentence where it says the members of the club voted during the meeting, right? So here we have one prepositional phrase of the club. We also have this prepositional phrase during the meeting. Of the club is telling me more about the members. So if this is a noun, right, members is a noun, then that means that this prepositional phrase is acting as an adjective. The second prepositional phrase in the sentence, though, during the meeting, is telling me about when did they vote, and they voted during the meeting. So this one is an adverb that is modifying our verb voted. So we're going to take a look at a couple more examples down here, and hopefully this will start to make a little bit more sense. Okay, so here are our examples. We're going to skip the first two, and we're going to look at these bottom three. So our first one says, after lunch, she and the group will practice their music. Now this one's a little bit tricky because we see that our prepositional phrase actually comes at the beginning of our sentence, after lunch. So, well, what's happening after lunch? Well, after lunch, she and the group will practice their music. So this is telling me when they are going to practice. And so this prepositional phrase after lunch is acting as an adverb that's telling me more about when they are going to practice, which is the verb of the sentence. Looking at number 4 here, when rehearsal ends, the group of players will perform. So here we have a couple of different prepositional phrases, right? We have when rehearsal ends, right? We also have of players. So of players is modifying the group. Group is a noun, so this of players is acting as an adjective to tell me more about that group. When rehearsal ends, though, is telling me about when this group of players are going to perform, and perform is in fact a verb that's being modified by our adverb when rehearsal ends. Our last one, my friend from school is taking me to the concert. So my friend from school is taking me to the concert. We have a couple of prepositional phrases here. Again, we have from school. We also have to the concert, right? So my friend from school is telling me about my friend, which is a noun, right? So this one is acting as an adjective. To the concert is talking about where they're going to take me. So is taking, right, is our verb to the concert. And so this one is acting as an adverb. A key thing to remember to notice here, hopefully, is that if we look at this prepositional phrase to the concert, right, if we take a close look at that, we'll notice that it doesn't come right after our verb. In fact, we have the word me here in the middle of it, which can make it a little bit trickier to figure out when prepositional phrases are acting as adverbs and figuring out exactly which word they are telling us more about, right? Because to the concert is where they're taking me, right? And me is a noun, it's here in the middle. But to the concert isn't modifying me, to the concert is modifying the verb of where they are taking me. Hopefully this helps out. Good luck. Let me know if you have any questions this week. And yeah, don't forget to complete the Google form at the end of it.